Can you hear us, Jim?
I can hear you.
You can hear us? Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, easy enough. The time is 7 p.m. and I will call this meeting to order. May we have roll call, please?
Mayor Reichel,
Here?
Pro Tem Hanrahan,
Here.
Trustee Brittenell,
Here.
Trustee Klassen,
Here.
Trustee Engelhardt,
Here.
Trustee Poston,
Here.
Trustee Seifert.
Here.
All right, may we rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we can be seated. All right, first item on tonight's agenda is public comments. Persons desiring to make a public comment on items not on the agenda, please activate the raised hand function in the meeting program, or shield any phone calls or emails in regards to non-agenda items.
No, I did not hear from anyone today.
Okay,
I do not show any raised hands, Mr. Mayor.
all right.
There's Mike.
Yeah.
Mike is signed in.
Let's see, is Mike signed? All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Mike, if you'd like to come on up to the table.
Actually, we were on the agenda for
Okay,
later.
you guys are on.
As I
They're
understood
on the agenda.
They're on the, yeah, Jamie's on the agenda, but we've got Mike in the back. Mike Stikes, come on in. You can state your name and address for the record, and then the floor is yours for 3 minutes.
3 minutes, wow.
3 minutes.
Hi, this is Mike Stike, live at Valley and Grand. I want to start out by saying, hi, everybody. Chief, I want to thank you very much. It seems in the last few days, traffic has slowed down in front of my house.
Sweet.
Thank you. Keep writing tickets and people will slow down.
We'll do that.
Mr. Lundeen, I want to thank you. The potholes in front of my house were getting patched today. Hopefully that's not the only ones getting patched. Grand Avenue's still a mess, but it's a little better than it was. Thank you very much. That's all I got to say.
All right. Thank you for coming out tonight.
Mike. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Okay. Everybody else from the public is here for agenda items? Okay. All right. Next item up then is the consent agenda, which contains the minutes of the November 24th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting, the La Mora Pizzeria renewal of a hotel and restaurant liquor license, Golden Gate Petroleum renewal of fermented malt beverage and wine liquor license, and resolution number 53 series 2025, a resolution of the Board of Trustees of the Town of Silt to set various town fees and deposits from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Would anyone like to discuss any of those individually or make a motion?
I have a couple of questions on item 4.
Okay. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking through the list of the rates, and I had a question on the, you know what? I think I just answered that question myself. But anyway, bulk water rates. Is that something that we need to look into and raising, or is that being done automatically along with the residential rates?
I believe it's being increased with the residents.
Okay. I just want to make sure
Yeah.
we were keeping up on that. And then I had a question. There is a fee here for meter testing. Is that if a customer requests a test, or is that? And the only reason I ask is just because if the town owns the meter, you know, why do we need to charge somebody to test our meter?
Sometimes residents have a leak in their house. And so instead of them hiring a plumber, they think we can go out and just go and look at their meter and tell them if they have a leak, instead of them hiring a plumber to see what's going on.
Okay,
So, I mean, I believe it's a small fee.
gotcha. Okay, so it's not necessarily testing the meter itself. It's
just
going
making-
out to
yeah, if they
kind of
have
troubleshoot.
overusage on water one month.
Uh-huh.
They'll look at their bill and say, can you come check our meter, make sure it's working right?
Oh,
Which
okay.
the meters slow down, they do not speed up, so.
Okay, all right, thank you for the clarification. That's all I had.
Okay.
I have a question. What happens to the pot-bellied pigs? Are we just not charging for them anymore?
The what?
There's pot-bellied pigs.
Like pig,
They
yeah.
used to be part of the dog licensing fee, and they're gone.
Because someone on the board doesn't like pot-bellied pigs. Not
I
me.
hope they're still allowed.
They were removed from the codes
They're just not.
that aligned with the fees. So by virtue of the fact they were removed from the code requirements, the fees were also removed.
They're just not being regulated anymore.
I think the backstory, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, is that there was one resident who had a pot-bellied pig at some point in the past, not the recent past, but the code updates and the fee updates were done for them. And shortly after those fees were put in place, that person left with the pig.
People have them.
They do.
Anyways.
People have lots of different animals.
I was just curious if it was in a different section or if it was just totally removed, so.
Did you get your question answered, though?
Well, I don't even know if we have any more pot-bellied pigs
Pigs,
in
yeah.
town, actually, so I don't know if it's an issue,
I
but
don't think, yeah.
I was
think it came-
curious if we were like banning them, or if we were just not, if you can just, you can have as many as you want, you don't have to.
When it came up in the code subcommittee, we were told that, to the best of our knowledge, there are not any currently in town.
But Kim does have a point. If it's not in the code, then you can have as many as you want.
No, the code stipulates the animal types that are allowed.
Allowed.
So if pigs are
Okay.
not, it's not,
Gotcha.
you can't have a pet giraffe either, but there's no giraffe fee.
No.
Yeah, we have the code prohibits the pot-bellied pig, so therefore we don't need a fee to register it and license it.
Yes. Sorry. I was against pulling it out of the code myself, but that's, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't have one myself, so, but I think they should be allowed.
Was there
They're
a
nice
strong
pets.
reason why we didn't want them anymore, other than the person not having the animal? It sounds like it would be the kind of an animal that maybe population may be interested in maintaining. Is that where you're coming from, Kim?
I mean, they're nice pets, and I know a couple of people who have them, but I don't know if they live in Silt, but.
Maybe
And
some
I was
special
mainly
breed?
curious, like, if I don't think they should be banned, frankly, but I wasn't trying to make it a big issue. I was more curious, but, yeah, I mean, they're like, some people have them instead of dogs because they don't have dander. And they're cute and friendly. But,
We can always discuss allowing the pigs at another meeting, and then
If somebody
then we-
has one and they want one, they
Yeah.
can come in and talk
come
to
and
us.
talk to us. And then fees are set by resolution, so we can change that
There you go.
at any time. We can do another resolution.
definitely, if it were.
We needed it, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else, or someone like to make a motion?
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay. Motion by trustee Seifert to approve the consent agenda as presented, seconded by trustee Clausen. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Do any board members have any conflicts of interest with agenda items tonight?
None here, Mr. Mayor.
None either. Any agenda changes by the board or by staff? None? Okay. All right, next up is the water plant construction update with Dan. We're getting close to the end, hopefully.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Dan Galvin with Garney Construction. This month's update for the Silt water treatment plant, as always, start with health and safety. We continue to be glad to report no incidents to date at the site. Continue with proper PPE, both plant staff and visitors. Walking through the site, a lot less, as we say, a lot less traffic now. Mainly just personal vehicles and some work trucks coming in and out of there. And then we continue with our weather awareness, making sure the guys are dressed properly, and then an extra set of clothes in case somebody gets wet or something, and then watching daylight. Fortunately, most of the work is inside the buildings now, so the getting dark earlier isn't quite the effect. Construction progress. So we're making good headway getting equipment started up. We have vendors on site last week and this week, loading the sand or the media filters, watching that process go, getting the sign off on that, making good progress there. Previously, a few weeks ago, we had another vendor on site to get our chemical pumps up and running. And then we've mentioned in the past, but some of the other pumps and items are going as well. HVAC, we had those that vendor on site, got the HVAC up and running. The test and balance should be this week, and then we're working on a training for plant staff there as well. And then we continue with those processes. We got next week the other large piece of equipment, the ActiFlow settlers. That vendor will be on site for a number of weeks, coming and going to get those checked out and started up. And again, a training for the plant staff there. And then as well, we've mentioned it in the past, getting into the existing plant now also, moving a couple of pipes around, taking opportunities for some of the other shutdowns going on when they've come and gone. But in there, so the next is that UV, the ultraviolet equipment, making room for that in the existing plant to get that installed, and then again, get the electrician to power that up, and we get that checked out. As well with the vendors on site, our electrician and our programming folks, we've had a couple opportunities to look at some of the existing equipment and try to make some improvements on some of that process as well. So ongoing there. Schedule, again, with these vendors coming and going on these large pieces of equipment. Some of the other equipment we were expecting showed up last week and made a good effort with our electrician and our Garney folks to get that installed, plumbed in and wired up to be ready for these guys next week. And a few other pieces of equipment that are still on order and just a few weeks out. So continue to look for that, excuse me, January date to get everything up and going, and then get the stuff under test for like a 21-day period that we talked about before last time. Get all the data in and get the state to sign off on the process so that we can then start turning that water, getting that made water into the distribution system. Budget, so not much with the minimal work going on, not much change since last time. Again, just under $22 million billed. Like I said, small workforce on site taking care of the last items. We've had some of the engineers and others walk through, give it a once over, pick out some items that need some touch up or some need to be addressed. We've been getting after those. And then we got a meeting of the mines here at the end of the month to look at our contingency log, and like we talked about, we've been addressing some of the other items in the existing plant to see where if there's other things that can be addressed or made new again. And with that, glad to open it up to questions.
I have a question, I hope it's for Joe. The pipeline under the interstate, is that hooked up now, or does that get hooked up when they're done, or where are we at with that?
That's all hooked up.
It's all hooked up at both ends, so it's, water's going through it now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I have a question about kind of the grand opening, the ribbon cutting. We're getting close to the time where we need to pick a date because some of the people we want to invite have fairly complex schedules and their availability is going to be limited by how soon we can ask them. How close are you to picking a date?
Still a little off with some of that equipment waiting. I can meet with Jim, a conference call with him. We can talk it out. I can confer with him, and we can come up with something for you.
Yeah, I want to make sure we can pick one, and
Right.
for regional, state, possibly federal officials, we can get them here. It's a big deal, and we want to celebrate it as a major outcome for the town and its citizens. but we need to give those people ample planning time.
Understood.
Thank you.
Anything from this side?
All I had.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
All right, next up is the Come and Go LC doing DBA Maverick, modification of premise 905 Main Street. This is a public hearing, but I'll turn it over to our deputy clerk.
Good evening. With recent interior remodel over at Maverick, they're seeking a modification to move the product within the store. They're also proposing adding a countertop cabinet that will hold the smaller products for control, quality control on them. I included all the maps. They're just basically changing where the product is displayed at the moment, rearranging that on the ground. So there's really no, unless you have any questions, they're just moving it within the licensed premises.
There's no increase in terms
No
of
increase,
the
no
allocation
change.
for those types of sales, including the behind-the-counter.
No, the product behind the counter will still be within the fermented beverage line.
Okay.
So they are only allowed to sell fermented beverages and wine. No spirituous alcohol is allowed under their license.
But they have to get permission just to move it from one
They
spot
do.
to the next.
Yes.
I guess that was my question, because in their schematic included in the packet is whiskey and vodka products.
I
shown
saw that
countertop
on the
cooler.
photo, but they're not, under their license type, they are not allowed to sell whiskey. It has to be it cannot be a distilled product. Exactly.
Okay. All right.
And because, if maybe a little bit further, their entire store is not licensed because they're technically not a liquor store or anything. So they have to prove exactly where their product is being stationed. And they're just moving it from one side of a cooler to the other side of the cooler, and the wine from one side of the aisle to the end of the aisle, and then adding that cabinet. Over my inspections with several of the other convenience stores, they were having issues with product control when they carry those smaller products. So I really think this is probably a good idea. It's a locked cabinet that's only accessed from behind the counter on the smaller countertop.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad they're moving it because it was right by the door. It just
I
seemed awful
agree.
easy for somebody to steal
Unfortunately,
it.
yes, I agree. Unfortunately, it was still within the parameters of what the state allows. So,
Gotcha.
All right. Any other questions for Deputy Clerk? We do have an applicant, it looks like, here.
okay.
I do, if you'd like to come to the table and state your name, I do have
Yep.
a question, I guess I'll ask. Deputy Clerk first, and then we can see. So, we just discussed accessibility to product, and now we're moving product from a corner to another corner that is right by a door with no cashier.
Yes. I discussed that briefly with the manager at the store. Unfortunately, where it's at still is within the guidelines of the state. And I believe they have a camera down in that corner as well. But I'm not, maybe they can answer more on their control that they have. But it's still within the legalities. It's not next to the juices. It's not next to the candy. It is next to the end of the candy aisle, but they describe it as it is not right next to it. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Yeah, the new location is in line with the rest of the Maverick locations in our company, so we're just trying to get aligned with the other stores. We added, with the remodel, there's 30 cameras in the store now, and they have a lot more resolution and it's easier to access, so if we need to do any research, we can look right away for folks. And we really want that presentation for convenience customer to come in and get to the products that they need first. Is milk and CSD, carbonated soft drinks, things like that. That's what they want quicker access to. We of course still sell beer and things, but it's not as big of a seller, right? And then those little 50 milliliter bottles are actually malted beverage. They're not liquor.
They're not liquor, okay.
They look like liquor, like Fireball and things, but it's a malted beverage.
Okay, yeah, because in the picture it shows exactly Fireball.
Fireball's not whiskey.
That's not whiskey.
It's not cinnamon whiskey, it's a malted beverage, okay.
It's cinnamon, yeah, malted
And then the
beverage.
other ones are schnapps, which I guess wouldn't be,
Yeah.
okay.
And those little bottles currently are in that little 4-foot section. And yeah, control is very difficult, so having them on the countertop display is gonna be much better for security and everything.
Okay. All right. As long as it all falls within the guidelines of the state, then
It
there's
does.
not, that you're following the rules.
I
so.
look.
Okay. All right. Any other questions for the applicant or for staff? Okay. This is a public hearing, so I'll open up the public hearing in regards to the Come and Go LC doing business as Maverick, modification of premise 905 Main Street. Persons desiring to make a public comment on this agenda item, please activate the raised hand function in the meeting program. Or Sheila, any phone calls or emails in regards to this agenda item?
No, I did not hear from anyone.
Okay.
I do not show any raised hands, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Would anybody in the public like to speak to this agenda item? Okay. The time is 7:21 p.m. and I will open up to further discussion by the board or motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve the Come and Go LC modification of premises as presented.
Second.
All right. Motion by trustee Seifert to approve the Come and Go LC doing business as Maverick, modification of premise, which is at 905 Main Street. That was seconded by trustee Clausen. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you for being here tonight.
Yes, thanks for being.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is the Garfield County Library update. We'll have our presenters coming up to the table.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Adrienne Rippey Sheehy, and I'm the president of the Garfield County Board of Trustees for the library, which we have, as you know, six libraries. I also would like to mention that I am a Silt resident, and we have, of course, you all know where the library is and love it. So we just wanted to take just a few minutes to give you some highlights of the 2024 update, the annual report, because we're very proud of it. And I'd like to introduce Jamie LaRue, who is our executive director.
So this is just about the time, we're wrapping up 2024 as we're also wrapping up 2025. So we hope to be able to get in and see you sometime a little earlier next year. And I just want to say, Chief, I wanted to thank you for, I was allowed to participate in your selection of a sergeant, your assessment center, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a really good process, and you are to be commended on your team. Thank you. One of the things that, one of the reasons we're here is Adrienne said she kind of got it into her head that it's a good idea for us to touch base with our communities. And so I just want to come back and give you some of our highlights. I like to brag since Adrienne kind of brought us here, is that last year she won an award for being an outstanding trustee, and this was from the Colorado Association of Libraries. So one of the reasons I think that she has got that is that she has a backbone of steel, for one thing. Very useful to have in a trustee. But just a reminder that all of the issues that we're working on together work better together if we talk to each other. So one of the things that I was very proud that we adopted in 2024 was our first long-range plan. And I believe I came before the council to talk about how we did that. And in essence, we identified movers and shakers around the community, about 80 to 90 of them. And we sent out our library staff to talk to them, and we asked them 5 questions. Tell us your story. We wanted to know how they got here. We asked them what drove them, what were the motivations. I'd be interested to repeat all that with you folks. What are the drivers that put you in public service? And then we said, as you think about the people you talk to, what are the key issues that probably that people are going to be worried about over the next 2 to 3 years? And from that, we worked up a big list of shared concerns. And interesting to me was After talking to about 15 people, all the answers started to converge. They were using exactly the same things. Housing, of course, was the number one issue. Mental health was the second. Third was about building community, and I was always very pleased to see, and all the leaders that we talked to, nobody said, let's round up either the liberals or the conservatives and ship them out of town. Everybody said, how do we figure out a way to get along with each other? So I find that very encouraging. Third one was concerns about the economy, things that have continued, particularly food insecurity as one of the issues. Then we had people talking about cultural amenities and the outdoor education. As everybody knows, people in Garfield County are outdoorsy and pretty well read, so I kind of like that. And then the last one was more education-related things. So beyond that, in 2024, we had the busiest year the library has ever had. The big trend that I see is that we're moving away from print. In 2024, we saw for the first time digital use exceeded print use. And that looks like that is not going to turn around anytime soon. I carry Kindles myself because I need a font size large enough to read. And I like to carry around 20, 30 books at a time. So I've made that transition and I'm sticking with it. So just some of the other highlights. I thought Adrian might have some things she wanted to say.
Yeah, we can just jump in on this. Just some, and I don't know if you I guess you
They've got
received
it.
this in the.
Yes, it's on our packet.
Oh, well, look, and it's right there on the screen, right next to me. One thing I was really proud of is the multilingual staff increased by 29%. And that is, of course, Spanish. And we now have stipends for people that will pass the proficiency to be speaking with our patrons in Spanish, because we do have a very large Hispanic population. And we have Spanish translation for all of our board meetings, and now it's people signing up for it. There's just a lot of these. In Newcastle, we had our first annual Lisa Detweiler Award for service to the Hispanic community. Jamie just mentioned the long-range plan, and that was very intensive, but it was so well received in all the 6 different communities. And I like the positivity of that. We also digitized 9 years of the Valley Journal, which is that old newspaper from Carbondale that has no longer been in things, but we've got that digitalized. And so I think it's really good to keep that history of our area intact, that we can share that with others. Kind of along the same thing with the tech and so forth, we had a one-to-one tech help session surged by 239%. That's people coming in going, I need some help with technology, and we would have with the patron and a member of the library would sit down one-on-one, and that's the best way to learn the hands-on, where you can actually do it. So that was really good. And this guy here, Mr. Jamie Leroy, Executive Director, won the Next Generation Indie Book Award, and it's a really great book you can check out on censorship, or maybe he'll even sign it for you. I don't know. He probably has a couple copies around on that. And you want to mention your about your library
I also say that we've, again, the theme of trying to share information, let people know all the things we've discovered through our surveys and through our programs. So I've managed to get a new library column in the Soper Sun and the Post-Independent once a month, just coming out to, again, let everybody know what we're learning about.
Okay, another thing that we invested $100,000 from our district foundation with Habitat for Humanity for a housing unit up in Glenwood, and that is L3, I believe. And that basically is purchasing a spot so that when one of those units become available, we can offer that to one of the employees for employee housing.
I guess if I can jump ahead just to coming attractions. Jim and I had a chance to kind of walk through and look at your building and look at our building to say, do we have some potential for some shared development? And although we're still probably 3 to 5 years out on anything significant that would be a joint partnership, I wanted to let you know that the building itself is about 10 years old, and we've been going through kind of 2 libraries per year to freshen them. They're not reworking anything. Somebody wanted to put apartments up on top of the library here. Probably not going to happen. We didn't plan for that one originally, although I like the idea. But we will be refreshing it and trying to modernize it, adding more spaces. Sorry.
And the one that we just finished this year was in Parachute and also Newcastle. And if you've had a chance to go to any of those, it's just, they're wonderful. So we're looking forward to this next one here in Silt.
Right. So again, really just trying to make it, we've noticed that the changing pattern of use for library, it used to be you come in, you get a book, you leave. And now it's like people come in and this is their office. This is where they meet their clients. This is where they do their presentations. We're measuring how long somebody stays in the library as what really accounts for use these days. So big shift. We're seeing libraries kind of moving from this warehouse bookstore model to very much a community gathering space. So want to let you know that we'll be doing a project here in Silt this coming year. And Jim, if we want to talk again about longer-term planning, we're still open to that. And I think that's kind of our whirlwind tour. We just wanted to say hello to you and see if anybody had any questions or anything they...
I have a question, and
Sir.
I know you're gonna laugh at me for asking this.
Oh, good.
I'm not techie. They upgraded my phone to 20, and I still trying to figure it out. But how do you know, it says here 70,600 Wi-Fi users. How do you know that? How do you... Because I don't know how you figure Wi-Fi users.
So but we track it by number of sessions that go through our router. And so if
So it goes through the library, through your computers?
Correct. We have a Wi-Fi router that is just dedicated to the public, and we can tell every time somebody logs in.
Oh, okay.
You know, it was interesting.
That was a good question.
What used to happen was that people would come into the library and use our PCs for the internet, and then everybody started bringing their own devices, but they still use our Wi-Fi.
So now I see them sitting, so they can actually hook up outside in that new area? Because I
They
see in
can.
the summer a lot of people
Right.
sitting out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even after hours, you'll see them sitting out there by the book return.
Well, and that's something else I should point out. We did a study over the past year about when people actually use the library, and if you drive past and you see people at 7:30 using the Wi-Fi out front, they start pretty early. But we will be adding, adding next year, opening the library at 9 o'clock instead of at 10 o'clock, because we've noticed big demand in the morning, not so much in the evening. And we're probably also going to be closing on Sunday because we're not seeing the traffic there. So Rifle will still be open on Sunday, Glen will be open on Sunday. But we're just shuffling the hours around, not laying anybody off. Everybody stays. But we're trying to better match the pattern for demand.
Okay.
And I think it speaks to the expansion of use cases. Recently, I was at the Transportation Committee met there. The Chamber meets there every couple of months. So there are more Wi-Fi users as let's call it an on-ramp to additional library usage. I think, it reinforces the narrative that this is really a community meeting place more so than just book storage and distribution.
That's right.
Exactly.
And I didn't know how they collected. I didn't know if it logs on.
That was a good question for them.
Oh, it was a good
I know-
question.
It's a good question.
I had no idea if somebody signs in or every time, or if it just automatically logs in, so.
I have one question, but it's in two parts.
Sure.
What are the biggest challenges and opportunities that you see facing the Garfield County Library System in 2026?
Want me to take a first swing at it?
Yeah.
One of the things we're taking a look at is that we have a 1 mil that was dedicated for the construction of each of the 6 libraries in the county. That retires in 2027. And so the difference between our debt payment and how much money extra we've made in that as property taxes have increased the value of the mill levy was about $500,000 a year. And so when a source of revenue disappears from the library, demands a hard look to say, do we need to go back to the voters to ask them to extend it? So one of the things that we'll be doing, and this is the challenge, is public funding, as I know you know. And so we're going to be doing some polling beginning probably in the first part of next year to say, is there an appetite for this? Are the arguments to maintain these beautiful buildings, is that a good enough argument? We don't think we need 1 mil, but we might need something like $500,000 to be able to continue the maintenance going forward. So that's one challenge. And then I think the other one is, and this is something I know the police force and others deal with, is the recruitment and retention of qualified staff. And so as the librarianship has changed, we're getting much more into the information system management, AI, managing networks, fighting off cybercrime, all those issues. Very difficult to get somebody in with those qualifications. So I think that what we've decided to do is what many people have, agencies have done in the county, and that's that there's a lot of very talented people who live here locally. And so we get them into the building and then we invest in their education. So I've been very pleased that we have covered like 100% of the education cost to get somebody up to a master's degree in library science. So that business about trying to hold on to good people, get them connected to the community, and turn them all into community leaders, that's the challenge.
Thank you.
Yeah. I couldn't really add to that except that just this month at our last board meeting, we did vote to approve a polling company and a strategist let's just see what the climate is out there before we go full steam ahead. We were going to do our homework or have them do that homework. So yeah. One last thing I just wanted to mention, and you've got these numbers, but this just amazed me. We had 42,788 program attendees amongst the 6 branches. And we're getting, some like Silt and Newcastle, we're getting as many as 600 people to some of these events. And I think we should do that. I'm going to send you something. It's so exciting. Pictures of all the different things we have in 1 month with the six branches. I mean, I'm the president and I've been doing this for 9 years and I am still going, oh my gosh, how can we get that much done? But I think you would be really impressed with that and how we're really trying to connect with everybody that we can in the community. One last thing was, this is a little thing from the Colorado Public Library's quotable facts, and it was programs across the state had 2.3 million attendants. If each attendee had bought a movie ticket instead, they would have collectively paid more than $40 million. So we're providing these great services without any cost, and we're really happy to do that. We thank you very much for your time, and if we can help you in any way, if you want a one-on-one with tech, Jerry, you just check in with
We can explain that whole router situation.
No, that was a really good question. But the thing is that, and they love to help. They love to teach, and if you can teach, you can educate. So thank you so
very
much.
And you guys have great events. I love, and the people are really helpful and really nice. It's a great library.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much, Kim.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
In 2024, if I'm reading things correctly, you guys ran about a $6.3 million surplus. What are you, and that was 2024, what are you expecting in 2025?
So, a couple of issues. One of them is we have a financial policy that said because of the rise and fall, the volatility of oil and gas, we retain 1 year of revenue. So that's in our financial policies. And then what we've noticed is that, again, back with oil and gas, about 2 years ago, we got almost an extra $2 million a year from oil and gas. This year, we're down about $834,000. So our approach to this, and we are very fiscally conservative for budgeting, is to say that virtually every dollar that comes to us from that one-time, one-off oil and gas stuff, we don't use it for operations, we stash it aside for capital. And so that's part of that 6-year process to do 2 years, or 2 libraries every year to do capital. And beyond that, we're kind of stashing things to say the buildings are 10 years old. At 20 years, we start doing HVAC replacements and all those kinds of big infrastructure costs. So the money that we're setting aside for these aggressive kind of savings has been for facilities planning.
Okay, but are you expecting a surplus in 2025?
No, in fact, we are going into our reserves.
Okay.
So we have enough money to cover like basic operations, but to do those 2 capital projects will probably take about $2 million out of our savings.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
No. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time and service.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right, now we have the first reading of ordinance number 14, series 2025. An ordinance of the town of Silt, Colorado, approving the sale of a portion of the Rising Sun Ditch water rights to Joel and, someone want to help me there? Hortensia Ruiz, in exchange for shares in the Lotion Cran Ditch. This is a public hearing, but I will turn it over to Attorney Sawyer for now. Actually, it looks like we got Lawrence with us tonight.
Yeah.
Good evening. Yes, this is Lawrence Bond. Attorney Michael Sawyer couldn't be with us tonight. In your packet, you should have the draft ordinance and also a memorandum explaining the transaction. But I'll give you a brief summary here and then open it up for any questions. So the Ruiz family owns shares in the Last Chance Ditch, also known as the Lotion Cran Ditch, and they have 10 shares. Our town water engineer saw that was about the equivalent of 0.1775 CFS in the Rising Sun Ditch water rights, which the town owns shares in the Rising Sun Ditch. Mr. and Mrs. Ruiz own property south of the Silt River Preserve and hold 10 shares, as I previously mentioned. Those water rights were historically the same lands as the Rising Sun water ditch, but Mr. Ruiz also has an easement that would allow construction of a pipeline and electrical lines across the Silt River Preserve. However, by installing that infrastructure, it would disrupt the preserve and undermine its conservation purposes. So to avoid that, we've come to an agreement, the town and the Ruiz family, that they'll just transfer the respective water rights. So we will get Mr. and Mrs. Ruiz's Last Chance Ditch, their 10 shares, and we'll transfer them the equivalent amount of water in our Rising Sun, in the town's Rising Sun Ditch rights. So we've had that confirmed. We've had our water engineer look at it. And the benefit of this is the exchange avoids any harm to the preserve. It won't be unsightly. It eliminates the easement and maintains the town's same amount of water right priority and supply. So we have a bargain and sale deed transferring the town's 1.775 CFS in the Rising Sun Ditch. We'll have an assignment and assumption transferring the Ruiz family's 10 shares in the Last Chance Ditch, and a quick claim deed conveying all of the easements associated with the Last Chance Ditch as well. So that everyone's on board, and it seems like it's a win-win situation for everybody. Are there any questions, or is the Ruiz family in attendance tonight?
They are not, no.
Okay.
So if I understand it correctly, Attorney Bond, does it affect any type of access in a positive way then to exchanging those rights as far as accessing the river?
I'm not as familiar with the layout of the land there, so I'm not comfortable answering that question. Perhaps Joe's in attendance, and he might be able to comment on that better than myself.
It won't affect the access, but what it'll do, if Mr. Ruiz did use the easement, we'd have power poles all the way down the easement walking to the river. So we don't want that. So this will keep those power poles away from the preserve.
Great, thank you.
The only question I have is the 10 shares of the Last Chance Ditch. I mean, I understand any water rights are good to have, but are we ever going to use those 10 shares?
You know, we're still getting the same amount of water. Attorney Bond may explain that better, but we're trading water for water.
Okay, I just didn't know.
Equivalent from him, what we're giving him.
Okay, yes, I mean, I understand it's the same. I just didn't know if we would ever pull water from that ditch.
I can't answer that because I don't know what's going to happen in the future.
Gotcha.
Right now, we won't, but.
Yeah.
But we're not pulling it from the Rising Sun Ditch either right now, are we?
No, we're not.
Yeah. So, okay. I think in terms of just leaving the preserve,
Yep.
It's
Makes
nice to
sense.
just flip-flop water rights, and
Yep.
at the end of the day, it's pretty much, it's a wash.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. This is a public hearing, if there's no further questions by the board. All right. The time is 7:45 PM, and I'll open up the public hearing in regards to the first reading of ordinance number 14, series 2025. An ordinance of the town of Silt, Colorado, approving the sale of a portion of the Rising Sun Ditch water rights to Joel and Hortensia Ruiz in exchange for shares in the Lotion Crayon Ditch. Persons desiring to make a public comment on this agenda item, please activate the raised hand function in the meeting program. Or Sheila, any phone calls or emails in regards to this agenda item?
No, sir.
I do not show any raised hands.
Thank you. Would the public like to speak to this agenda item? No? All right. The time is still 7:45 PM, and I will close the public hearing and open this up to further discussion by the board or a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance number 14, series 2025 as written.
A second.
All right. Motion by trustee Clausen to approve the first reading of ordinance number 14, series 2025, seconded by trustee Poston. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Next up is resolution number 49, series 2025, a resolution to adopt the town of Silt's budget for calendar year 2026, appropriate funds, and levy property tax. I will turn this over to Manager Mann.
Good evening. You have on the agenda this evening a series of resolutions that will adopt a 2026 annual operating budget for various funds. You have spent the last 8 weeks painstakingly going through the administrative budget that was presented back in September. Our revenues remain funded through our mill levy sales tax, which has not changed. Our mill levy is 7.93 mills, and our sales tax is 3%, of which 1% is dedicated to maintaining and improving roads and streets. The good news is that with the growth and development that has occurred in the town, our property tax revenues are outpacing the efforts by the state of Colorado to keep reducing property taxes. So we'll actually see about a $79,000 increase in property tax revenues. Our sales taxes are going to be in excess of 14.5% higher than they were in 2024. And again, that's growth and development. Other piece that we had on the ballot earlier this November was an initiative to put a 40% tax back nicotine-based products that will go January. We step into that tax equal to what the town of Newcastle is charging, and that will generate approximately $250 of revenue. On the downside, we did include a reduction in severance taxes that we received from the state, and that's simply because the state decided that they wanted to keep those funds. On the opposite side, we continue to fund the general operations of the town, including administration, community development, public works, utilities, etc. Implementing 24/7 police coverage through the efforts of Chief Gress and the officers to do a 12-hour shift, which will give us force.
Hey, Jim.
Planning.
We keep losing you. You keep cutting in and out.
I'll have to yell at my daughter for using my bandwidth.
If you turn off the video, it should reduce or prevent the skipping of the audio. Don't take it personally.
We anticipate an increase in our park and recreation budget based upon the tobacco tax. Our preliminary was that about 60% of the dollars, or 150,000, was going to go towards park improvements, with $50,000 going to recreation programs and another $50,000 to special events. One of the items that we're looking at for 2026 is that because of the 250th anniversary of the country on July 4th, that we are planning an extra event for that day. And we'll also do some celebration of the 150th anniversary of the state of Colorado being formed. We do have a couple of positions that we've kind of added. They partially added in 2025, but then fully funded in 2026. We've increased our staffing in the public works department for the primary purpose of dealing with the collection and distribution system for the wastewater and water utilities. We also have an administrative position included that will be primarily for expanding our use of the town's geographic information system and ensuring that we have the continuity of information as we have aging employees that will work their way out of not working for us anymore, and we don't want to lose their knowledge. Obviously, another one of our goals is to do some serious expansion of our code enforcement activities. We did hire a code enforcer earlier this year, and we are working towards training that individual up. We have a wide variety of capital projects that are included in the 2026 budget. First and foremost is the completion of the wastewater treatment plant project, phase 1. We will then move into phase 2, which is going to be the replacement of the ductile iron transmission main on 7th Street. If you recall, we did receive a congressionally directed spending allocation, the amount of $2,053,000. We will likely have some excess funds from the water treatment plant project that will supplant that so that we can complete that water main project in the amount of about $2.8 million. With that project, we will also start the first phase of closing 7th Street from Main Street down to Front Street for the eventual development of the pedestrian plaza and pedestrian bridge crossing to the south side of the interstate. We are continuing with our phased approach to completing the Grand Avenue reconstruction. We have phase 2 planned on the books for 2026. We have received a federal mineral lease district grant for that project, bringing that cost down by about $500,000. We should be in a position to complete phase 1 of the community park rehabilitation, and we are working towards figuring out how to go about phase 2, which would be the water feature that the community outreach results came back saying that the community wanted. We are going to start the process of the Veterans Park rehabilitation with a park and recreation meeting that will happen early in January, and we'll start discussing what that rehabilitation will look like. We'll be working on the phase 3 Grand Avenue reconstruction planning, not phase 2, since we're doing that next year. We also have a number of other kind of interim projects that are underway right now, which are continuing to look at our facility needs into the future. We'll have a presentation by our architect consultants in January. We're doing some preliminary work with the Corps of Engineers on the removal of the cattail property east of Family Dollar Tree from wetlands designation. A key initiative in the water and wastewater utility is to expand our use of the GIS, but to get into more asset management planning. So especially as it pertains to the wastewater utility, we know what needs to be replaced when. And then, as you recall, we're looking at updating we have a grant award for updating the town's comprehensive plan and then rewriting titles 16 and 17 of municipal code, which are the land subdivision and zoning code. And then it's my hope that we'll do some expanded strategic planning with some community listening sessions in 2026, as we have a number of rather significant projects on the horizon, not least of which is that updated comprehensive plan, but improvements, and then also some of our facilities, et cetera. I think we continue our work with transportation in terms of planning what is and exploring the ideas that may be out there to fund the hogback. I generate some additional discussion tonight is the fact that we did include a contribution towards RAFTA for the operation of that hogback. It's a $40, but it operates, or it would cover about 22% of what it costs our allocated share for the operation back routes. And with that, I will take a deep breath and turn it over to you folks for any discussion, questions, modifications, etc.
All right.
Am I alone, when we voted for the tax to be on the ballot, that we were aware that the state could take a large percentage of the funds on severance, over 150,000 in severance? Can you, Jim, elaborate on this, on the tobacco tax?
The tobacco tax is completely separate from the severance tax, or the allocation that the state gives us for the severance tax. They're two separate issues. Tobacco tax will generate about $250,000. Unfortunately, due to the state's fiscal woes, they chose to keep more of the as opposed to continuing to distribute municipalities across the state.
Okay, so it's
And severance tax comes from oil and gas.
separate. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Talked a lot about it.
Talked a lot about it.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say about it tonight.
Okay. Anybody else?
Nope.
Okay.
I do not have anything.
All right. Then we will go ahead and open up the public hearing. It's 7:57. I'll open up the public hearing for resolution number 49, series 2025. Persons desiring to make a public comment on this agenda item, please activate the raised hand function in the meeting program, or Sheila, any phone calls or emails in regards to resolution number 49.
No, I did not hear from anyone.
I do not show any raised hands, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Would the public like to speak to this one? All right. Then the time is 7:58 p.m. and I will close the public hearing and open this up to further discussion by the board or a motion.
Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve resolution number 48, series 2025 as presented.
All right. Motion by trustee Sievert to approve resolution number 49, series 2025 as presented.
Second.
Seconded by trustee Brittenall. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. So next up is resolution number 50, series 2025. A resolution to adopt the Silt Housing Authority budget for calendar year 2026 and appropriate funds. We'll turn this one over to Manager Man.
The Housing Authority budget represents our operation of Silt. 2026 will be the last year that we are operating under the site-specific voucher program. So we have some decisions to make early in 2026. So there'll be some discussion in January at the board level. We do have included in the budget the remodeling of the units within the Housing Authority. We did receive a grant from the Federal Mineral Lease District and a joint application with the Garfield County Housing Authority But part of our decision-making is going to revolve around whether the town wants to continue operating the housing authority property. If we accept the federal mineral lease district funds, we will be also committing that we will operate the housing authority project for 25 years. And so given the change that we are looking at from a voucher program, a site-specific voucher program to a Go Anywhere program, it would require us to have to start to manage the housing authority property in 2027. So it's a discussion that we'll put in front of the Board of Trustees for you folks to make a decision. Overall, we'll run a deficit in 2026, and it's purely due to the capital project associated with the remodel of the facility. And with that, again, I'll answer any questions.
The admin fee jumped up a lot, doubled, more than doubled.
I can take that one. The admin fee is a percentage based on expenditures. So if we don't go through with the capital project, that admin fee will go down.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Any other questions? Okay.
What would happen to the Silt Housing Authority if the town declined to keep managing it? Would it then get turned over to the county in theory?
We would put the facility up for sale.
Yeah, we
It
still
would
own
cease to exist because we own.
Correct.
We couldn't somehow work out an arrangement with Garfield County to manage it directly, completely.
I think their response to whether they would want to continue doing that was no.
Okay. So either we do it or we have no senior housing.
It's a fun discussion that we have to look forward to
Yeah.
in the future. It's making my head hurt a
Next
little
mayor's
bit.
meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other comments before we open up the public hearing?
Never noticed how dangerous it was.
All right.
Not on this one, no.
The time is 8:02 p.m. and I'll open up the public hearing for resolution number 50, series 2025. A resolution to adopt the Silt Senior Housing Authority budget for calendar year 2026 and appropriate funds. Persons desiring to make a public comment on this agenda item, please activate the raised hand function in the meeting program. Or Sheila, any phone calls or emails in regards to this agenda item?
No, Mr. Mayor.
I show no raised hands, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Okay. No, nothing here in the public, in the chambers. Time is 8:02 p.m. and I will close the public hearing and then open this up to further discussion by the board or motion.
Mr. Mayor,
No,
I move-
before you go, just the last comment.
Sorry.
Senior housing is very important. We have to think about the seniors that have lived here for a long time. And I know it will be a costly project, but I believe that certain things within a community is very crucial to keep. So we can have those aging people that have invested their lives within the community, staying within the community, and we are not closing the doors to them at an older age. So, as I'm exiting, I would like, to leave that little piece of information for where I come from for those types of discussions when that happens.
I agree with Trustee Poston. This is, for all intents and purposes, an investment in a key segment of our community, that being our senior citizens. 100% agree. And to that end, Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 50, series 2025 as presented.
Second.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem to approve resolution number 50, series 2025 as presented, seconded by Trustee Britnall. All's in favor?
Aye.
All's opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next up is resolution number 51, series 2025, a resolution to adopt the Silt Urban Renewal Authority budget for calendar year 2026 and appropriate funds. Again, over to Manager Mann.
The Silt Urban Renewal Authority provide an incentive to the Dollar General, when it was constructed, that it would rebate a portion of the sales taxes that are generated. The budget includes the revenues that are in addition to what was previous there, and then the expenditure. The Urban Renewal Authority has traditionally run a rather healthy surplus based upon those dollar amounts. And so we have revenues of approximately $25,000 with expenditures of only about $3,000.
All right. Anything on this one? Okay.
No, sir.
Time is 8:05 p.m. and I'll open up the public hearing for resolution number 51, series 2025. A resolution to adopt the Silt Urban Renewal Authority budget for calendar year 2026 and appropriate funds. Persons desiring to make a public comment on this agenda item, please activate the raised hand function in the meeting program, or should any phone calls or emails in regards to this agenda item.
No, Mr. Mayor.
I show no raised hands.
All right. Public? Okay. Nobody here in the chambers would like to make a comment either. So the time is 8:05 p.m. and I'll close the public hearing and open this up to further discussion by the board or a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve resolution number 51, series 2025 as presented.
Second.
All right. Motion by trustee Britnall to approve resolution number 51, series 2025 as presented. That was seconded by trustee Clausen. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right. Next up is resolution number 54, series 2025. A resolution appropriating additional sums of money to defray expenses in excess of amounts budgeted for the town of Silt, Colorado for the 2025 budget year. And I will turn this over to Treasurer Tucker.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We are asking to appropriate an additional $5,400 for the 2025 calendar year. There was additional expenses out of the Victim Assistance Fund to give a contribution to Garfield County Spear Unit that wasn't appropriated in 2024 when we made the budget.
Okay. This is just an action item, not a public hearing, but any discussion
Nope.
on this one? Nope.
Seems like a great
So
use
is
of the
this-
funds.
It's just like extra money that we received from, that is excess in the Victim Assistance Fund, and we're just giving it to somebody else?
No, it was an additional expense that wasn't appropriated, so we went over budget by $5,400. It wasn't something that was in discussion when we were doing the budget process in 2024.
I see, okay. I understand now, thank you.
You're welcome.
Someone like to make a motion to this agenda item?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 54, series 2025 as presented.
Second.
All right. Motion by trustee Engelhardt to approve resolution number 54, series 2025 as presented. That was seconded by trustee Poston. All is in favor?
Aye.
All is opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And next up,
I have a question about that item. Since it's a resolution, am I supposed to be here?
yes, you were supposed to be here.
You have to recuse
I
yourself?
recuse myself. I don't know. I just
Are you
follow
gonna, are
the
you gonna be
rules.
biased?
I can't vote on this.
You can, because you have no financial interest in this
Oh,
resolution.
that's, okay.
So there's not a conflict with this
Okay.
agenda item, so.
Okay.
So next item on the agenda is resolution number 52, series 2025. A resolution expressing the appreciation of the Board of Trustees for the services of Andrea Poston as a trustee of the town of Silt. And we do have a whole resolution here to read.
Oh my gosh.
So I will jump into that first, and then we can make a motion on this, if that's okay with everybody.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
there is actually,
I need to get out.
I think Sheila Marie might be entering the chambers.
Oh,
No, you stay. You stay.
No, Mr. Mayor has everything he needs at his
Oh, he
fingertips.
does. Okay.
He does,
All right.
yes.
Apologies.
All right. So Town of Silt, resolution number 52, series 2025. A resolution expressing the appreciation of the Board of Trustees for the services of Andrea Poston as a trustee of the town of Silt. Whereas Andrea Poston was appointed as a trustee on February 8th, 2019, and elected on April 7th, 2020, and served until April 22nd, 2022. And whereas Andrea Poston was reappointed as a trustee on May 22nd, 2023, and served until December 8th, 2025. And whereas Andrea Poston has served as a trustee with diligence, loyalty, and dedication, making significant and lasting contributions to the town residents, and the future of the community in her capacity. And whereas Andrea Poston will be missed by this board and the residents of the town of Silt. Now therefore it be resolved by this Board of Trustees of the town of Silt, Colorado as follows. The sincere thanks of the Board of Trustees and residents of the town of Silt are extended to Andrea Poston for her service to the town. Andrea Poston is wished the very best in success and happiness in her future endeavors. And number 3, this resolution shall be spread at large in the minutes of the meeting, and a certified copy thereof shall be delivered to the said Andrea Poston. Introduced, read, passed, and adopted at a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the town of Silt, Colorado on the 8th day of December, 2025.
Hey, I'll come get it.
You'll come get it?
But should I wait until you guys vote first?
Nicole, are you taking pictures?
She is here.
All right. Would someone like to make a motion?
Oh, Mr. Mayor, make a motion to approve the resolution 52, series 2025 as presented.
Second.
All right. Motion by trustee Seifert to approve resolution number 52, series 2025 as presented, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Hanrahan. All is in favor?
Aye.
All is opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
It's been a pleasure.
So you get to keep this.
Should I
and-
pose for pictures too?
Well, you get to pose with a real
Oh my God.
fancy copy of it.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, sure. I want this picture. Wow. I was thinking, what should we say?
You're good.
Okay. This tag. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess we need to, yes. I was feeling still standing. Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I'm sad. It's all right. It's all right. Everything for myself. Promise you guys.
We get to move from a happy moment to, next is the October-November 2025 financials and balance sheet. Treasurer Tucker?
Are you saying financials aren't a happy moment?
It's a tough act to follow, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
That was the exciting thing at the end.
So I emailed you both October and November's financials. If it's okay with you, I will just report November's since it has the most recent numbers. I can do both if you'd prefer.
That's fine.
November should be fine, yeah.
Okay. So for the month of November, 92% of the year has passed. We are, of course, doing really well with sales tax at 112% of what we had anticipated on getting. Use tax is right at that 92%, as well as our trash, water, wastewater, and irrigation fees. We're all hovering around that 92 to 93% mark. We our sales tax revenue went down a little bit in November. We are at 11.75% higher than what we had received at this time last year. October's was 13.84% of what we had received at that same time in October of last year. We are doing well on all of our funds, short of the Victim Assistance Fund, where we went over budget this year, but everything else we are under the appropriations that you made last year. And I'll answer any questions you might have.
Do we have any questions?
Looks good.
Looks good.
Looks good. Let's see where December
Thank you,
pushes us
Treasurer
in.
Tucker.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Next up then is manager and staff reports.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have anything to add this evening.
Okay. Any
I
other
will
managers?
say thank you for everybody that came out to the tree lighting, and it was a lot of fun. We had a really good turnout this year. The snow, keeping a bay actually brought more kiddos out, and our attendance, I would say, was probably double. So we have a good idea of where we're gonna go with that next year, and thank you for coming out. Thank you to the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem for coming out and doing the actual countdown lighting. And I think that's all that I had in mind to highlight, so.
All right. Mr. Lindy?
I just want to thank the board for this year, for everything you've done for Public Works and the Water Wastewater Department.
Okay. Chief
I
Crew?
will second that for the police department. The appropriations for the budget for the coming year is very appreciative for retention. Last weekend, or a few days ago, had coffee with a cop that was successful. Not hardly anybody complaining about, in fact, complimenting the Silt police officers on how they treat the public when they get stopped, and so that's always a proud moment. And so we'll continue to do that. I got Shop with a Cop coming up on Saturday, and Officer Portwood, Calvin Portwood, he's a go-getter, and that is his baby, and he will be more than happy to tell you that. But he has gathered a bunch of funds, so from what they had last year, kind of rolled over, they're looking like 80 plus kids. So it should be a fun time.
Very nice.
And I just want to jump on board and thank the board for everything they've done as well. And also to thank you to Trustee Poston for your years of service with us. It's much appreciated.
I just had one question for Nicole on her report. The free up storage says they've been unresponsive. So are they not operating right now?
From my understanding, they've been completely unresponsive to the town, but from my understanding, they are actually doing a well. So I'm not sure what their responsiveness is with the county, since they're technically in the county. But I think at this point, we've just abandoned their application for out of town taps, and assume that whatever expectations they need to meet for the fire department in the county, that they're meeting them without the town's involvement.
Okay.
So, in answer, we had a meeting, a manager's meeting with all the storage units, and they were there. So yes, they are, as of right, their plan is they're going to do portable tanks. But right now they're operating, they just can't do climate controlled. So down the road, talking to Orrin and them, they're planning on doing storage tanks with, what do you say, mixers? They gotta have some kind of a mixer in there to keep it going, Joe, in the wintertime?
I would believe so.
I think that's what their plan is. They abandoned going under the railroad, they were talking about down 16th, and he said they're just gonna have two, I don't know, 20,000 gallon tanks or something. That was the last I heard at the meeting, but they're up and running. They can rent everything out, other than they cannot advertise as climate control because they're not sprinklered.
Oh. Okay. All right. That's all I've got. So, board comments. Trustee Clausen.
I just wanted to say to, the residents that in town, and especially the ones that live on Grand Avenue, just please be patient. You know, this is a multi-year project, and I know Grand Avenue is ugly right now, but, you know, you got to break eggs to make an omelet. So I'm just saying to the citizens, be patient. The road's ugly, but the town's doing everything they can to move as quickly as they can to redo the entire Grand Avenue thoroughfare. And it'll be much, much prettier, and it'll have sidewalks, and it'll be a much better product when the town is done. And I just want to thank all of the town staff and employees and board members and everybody else for the job they did this past year. And Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
All right.
So we had our energy advisory board with Garfield County last Thursday night, and two things that are coming up. The commissioners pulled the funding for the portable air monitors for Garfield County, so they won't be monitoring air quality control no more around any of the gas wells or whatever. The second thing is the state is evidently bored that they can't monitor the wells, so they're gonna go after landfills next year. And according to Perry Will was there and Kirby, if this law passes, it's gonna go after, it could cost the landfills up to $500,000 to monitor methane gas, which is so minute. But like the county said, two things are gonna happen. Either they're gonna double dump fees or they're gonna close the dump. Just something it makes no sense, but he said there's no gas wells going, so the commission is bored. He said the next thing, they were going after landfills. So it would, and he doesn't know how many or where or what, it's early stages, but I know Garfield County and then the one in Glenwood, but he said it's just preliminary, but Kirby said it's kind of a mess. But kind of hurt the monitors for the quality control up and down the valley, but he said they're really, that was $250,000 on the budget they cut, so. But they said it is way down, but of course there isn't a lot of gas wells in either, so. Right now, more of the pollution is along I-70 is traffic, which would play into having some, some funding for public transportation, cut down on the traveling. But anyhow, that's what had happened on that. So that was the only two things that came out of that. So that's all.
All right. Mayor Pro Tem?
Nothing but thanks, staff, fellow trustees, citizens, Trustee Poston in particular. Thank you for the time, the effort, the energy, and the outcomes. And happy holidays to all. This is a great job. I said it to you the night of the Christmas tree lighting. Some days aren't great, some days are harder. This is a fantastic job, and it's an incredible privilege. So happy holidays, everyone.
We're going to go out of order, so I'm just going to go because we're leaving Trustee Poston the floor at the end. So, but no, I just want to say the same thing. It's been a pleasure serving on the board with you. It's been several years we've got to work together. We haven't always agreed, but I've always respected your opinion, and we've had wonderful outcomes. So I wish you the best in whatever you choose to do in the future, and maybe we'll see you back up here again at some point. You never know.
Never know.
Never know. So.
Never say never.
Yeah. Yes, and thank you to staff. It's been another great year. Look forward to next year. So, Trustee Britnell.
Echo the thanks. I'm not going into individuals again because it's been said enough. Again, though, Andrea, the knowledge that you bring about some of the financial things because your background with your day job, and then just the passion that you have for the town and how you care and what. Again, though, it's as Mayor said, it's always respectful. It's always been very. It just brings that other side of things that people don't always see. So, very well done. I did have a member of the community. So when we shut down for the holiday, for the Thanksgiving thing, people could go down 9th Street, correct?
Correct.
But then when we Christmas, we changed it. Is there a reason why we did it different for Christmas than we did for that? Or is that just a CDOT thing or?
Yeah, so it was after talking to the State Patrol and CDOT, in order to keep traffic circulating faster, it was not to clog it up at the roundabout. So it was during the peak hours, like the rush hour, it was a right turn only to detour down to 16th, and we didn't have any clog ups.
I had one community member that approached me, and he felt like the other times had gone way better than this time went. He thought it was way more congested, and there was a lot more issues with it. So, just something to think. I don't know if we can look at patterns of between the two, whichever one worked the best. But we got to do what we can to make it safe for everybody, but yet still have a good event. So.
Yeah, thanks for the feedback.
Yeah, we didn't notice a lot of traffic on 16th. Just not much above normal, but it wasn't out of control, so.
Yeah, I think it was maybe, because Chief Gress actually did the traffic control on the overpass. And we kept, the traffic actually circulated faster than it does on an everyday basis with what we did.
Yeah. He just one person
Yeah.
mentioned it. And he also lives in that DeMelby Court area, so maybe it was harder for him to get around and made it
a little bit more congested, seeming more congested,
Yeah.
but
It
that was
very
just
well
feedback
could
I
have.
got.
Yeah, yeah.
I was orchestrating like the Philharmonic.
I have a couple of plugs. So the Cactus Valley Elementary is doing their holiday shop this week from 3:30 to 7, I think. So they're selling little gifts, you know, if you need stocking stuffers. And then the Symphony in the Valley played their annual Christmas thing, and I was there, and apparently they're gonna play it on the radio on KMTS on Christmas Eve. If any, I don't know if it's gonna do it justice. You know how sometimes it comes across the sound quality isn't as good, but I don't know. Maybe it will, but something to think about. And then yes, thank you. Merry Christmas to everyone, and you will be so missed. We appreciate you so much. Thank you. That's it.
Yes, I just want to thank everybody. Town of Silt rocks. We have such an amazing team. Thank you so much for every single person that works for the town and for every board member. Thank you for the new members that have joined the town. You guys are doing an amazing job. That includes Jim, fairly new here, but you guys rock. You guys are what makes this town, together with the citizens that come in and give their inputs, and we want more and more participation. I'm super excited about all of the exciting projects we have coming up for the town of Silt. And I just want to say, if you stay strong within your values and the values of the town, you keep that good going, breathing plans, and you navigate through economic challenges or change in leaders' challenges, if you keep in that forefront, what is the value of the town, the citizens of the town of Silt? If you keep that in mind, and you keep that, you know, the kind of person that you are and how you want to present yourself on a daily basis, and bringing that within the board, I think that has a lot of passion, and it carries, like, in a long way how projects get completed, believing that even though we are small, we are mighty. That's not a tagline. I just think we are mighty. And I think we are able to accomplish great projects. Let's just keep on moving forward, navigating through the challenges, prioritizing the right things. And yeah, I live here. I love living here, and I'm excited to see what we're gonna make it happen. Thank you.
Trustee Poston,
Yes.
thank you for your service, but you have one more motion that you need to make.
Uh-oh.
And that motion is to adjourn sine die.
Oh my gosh, I never do that. Adjourn the meeting? I've never done that.
No, it's adjourn sine die, because the motion would be to close out the 2025 session of the Town of Silt Board of Trustees.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's a privilege. But we do have executive session too.
Sheila, is Lawrence still here? Yes, Lawrence is still here.
Yep.
Okay, I guess you get to wait to make that motion. Trustee Poston.
She's keeping us.
Well,
I never
she can-
closed the board motion before.
Think about it.
Hell by
Everybody- Yeah.
I'm ready to go to Mexico. I want to get out of here.
All right. Okay.
Way to stay focused.
All right.
Business.
So I will make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations